event.
NIP.
And then
early in the group stage, they had a 2-0 victory over Team 1, playing a big part in their, well, farewell from this event.
Ejection.
Ejection.
They got tossed out of the airlock. So MIBR now could very easily go on a tear where they've defeated the Mexico Major champions, the 2021 SI champions, and potentially even the 2020 SI champions. And yes, Titan killers, Titan slayers, legend killers, whatever you want to call them, they are coming for you. If you have won anything, MIBR is amped to take it away from you. With NIP being gone, we will have that new world champion crown, but it might not be quite new because if Spacestation repeats, then we've got another team winning it for the second time in a row. Additionally, there are 2 players in this event who could presumably win their 3rd hammer. That's both Canadian on Dark Zero and Bosco on Space Station.
Does that mean that MIBR's Kryptonite is a winless team, essentially?
They're going to go up. If you have not won anything, you will just destroy MIBR. They will crumble. They will crumble in front of your very eyes.
Like, oh no, these guys are not good enough. We must lose now. Like, that's...
We only bring our A game when we're playing up against A-tier teams. None of this nonsense beyond that. Let's get underway, though. Operator bands are in. We're on Villa. Space Station starting on defense. So go to Trophy Statuary to start off with. On the top floor, banned out by Space Station are Thatcher and Valkyrie. Nomad and Wamai gone from MIBR. That's the landscape. Those 4 operators unavailable. Nothing really stands out of those operator bans.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that the Nomad is obviously a target ban. It's something that SSG has been running before in Villa, where once they get the map control, they can really make sure their flanks are covered and that they get more space to work with, more safety, and more active guns. Because if you don't have the Nomad, you'll have to dedicate a player either on drones or with his gun active, well, to lock down the flanks. But besides that, it's a very standard game of Villa, and Nomad does see a ton of ban as well throughout the course of, Villa's lifespan in Rainbow Six Siege. So, not really out of the ordinary. I think SSG are well prepared for that Nomad ban. I don't think they're crutching on it either.
They lost one of their best flank watches in Thinking Nade a while ago. He played on this roster back in Mexico, if people recall, and there have been some stylistic changes to the way that this team plays. Lately with SSG, if you're going to be on that flank watch, you're not going to have an operator to do it, and you're going to have a new player playing on that role.
Yeah, and you speak about role changes, it's actually Skies these days on the Smoke SMG-11, where Bosco was playing that operator before. That was a role change that they made to enable Bosco more freedom on the map and to get into more gunfights confidently with a better weapon. And it's funny to say that because Bosco is one of the most renowned smoke players in the world, one of the absolutely most clutch players up there with the likes of Brede and Souls from FaZe as well. So, well, Bosco and a better gun could be extremely scary, and so far he's had a decent event. But of course now find themselves in the lower bracket. They'll have to have an amazing event to make that comeback from the lower bracket all the way to the grand finals if they want to quote-unquote defend their former title. They didn't win the previous one, but the one before that is where, of course, SSG became the victor. We're seeing a roam clear-ish here from MIBR. They've reached open that pantry wall. That's going to not attack, but add a little bit of pressure down below where we saw Skies just a second ago on that dining table. But they're not really coming for it. Not yet. MIBR, earlier today, they're really setting the pace, if you will, against an IP. They're playing fast and then slow and really keeping their opponent guessing. And if you're SSG, I hope you can read minds because it's hard to read MIBR's playstyle.
MIBR came in against Ninjas in Pajamas as what most people consider to be an underdog just based upon the pedigree of NIP, but MIBR have consistently beaten expectations. We'd like to remind you that they are the lowest ranking team that has an official ranking. Technically, the lowest ranking team is M&M, who didn't actually have a rank. That's because they don't play at a Tier 1 league yet. They just made it in the EUL, but they don't have a ranking yet. As for MIBR, they are quite low. They're like 28th, I believe, was their official ranking, and there goes a Nitro Cell, gets stuck to the ceiling, grenade gets tossed on in. These are small mistakes that cannot happen. A Nitro Cell gets tossed out, answered back by that grenade, and there goes another grenade, but
this is the Kite Claw.
It really does. Hot and Cold has been down now, over by 90. Is he retrievable? Philip smells blood in the water, but cannot secure the kill. Fultz is the one now heading from SSG. Another grenade lined up. 2 available. Bosco still survives. That one gets dropped on his head. Hot and Cold will be retrievable. So you can pick him back up, get back in towards the bomb site. All the while this is happening. Only 45 seconds left, Nick.
But the wall will be opened up, and that's going to add more pressure onto SSG. Astro is a big question mark here. If you can hold Astro successfully, Rambi on the staircase and Sky span the black box, that'll be crucial to the round. But Philippox has this open angle onto single statue. Could find the opening pick, but does not yet. But with 30 seconds left, here we go.
And it completely cuts off any ability for Fultz to swing in, so he has to play by the statue and does a marvelous job. 1 kill, 2 kills for Fultz. Now it's time for them to trade back and forth. Fultz is down into a 3v3. Toxic Canister still going out. Falls is not in the bomb site just yet. They've opened up that wall as you talked about. Skies dropping Philippox with a shotgun. Now on the stairs is Raps getting taken out as Rampy pushes back to the bomb site, and it's Falls with Diffuser in hand. No time left to accomplish anything. He's not even going to be able to secure a single one of the final 3 kills. Spacestation take the first round on their map.
As you see, they ticked all the boxes, right? They slowed down MIBR from their initial engagement on Master Bedroom. The Kai Claw trick shenanigans from Bosco burned out 3 grenades single-handedly. That's massive, because those grenades can then afterwards not be used to take out player positions, and that's what's crucial about Villa. You have very specific areas on the bomb site that are very good to be playing inside of, and grenades is the easiest way to typically clear them out, besides, you know, Capital Fire arrows, etc., which doesn't see a whole lot of play on this map. They held Astro successfully. Absolutely crucial in trophy defense. Astro is the key to the entire thing because it ties everything together. It's the access to both bomb sites, it's your only really means of rotation, and when you have Astro control, you also kind of have half of bathroom control, really limiting where the attackers can come from. That's trophy done. Gonna go to AVG instead. We are seeing a bit of a different lineup from SSG. Bringing out the mirror from hot and cold, and we'll keep the deny on false this time with the mute. There'll be no kite in sight because Bosco has made his way to Melusi instead. That's gonna help you lock down the staircases and entryways for your attackers. You see it here. Actually, that's a bulletproof. Different gadget. That gives you information. Doesn't slow down the opposing team, but it gives you options to do or make more and better decisions with that information. Gonna see the extension over, and there we go. That's a Banshee. That's going to slow down attackers if you come from the Astro stairs from down below. We're going to be seeing an extension to statue side where I expect a mirror window on that triple wall. It hasn't been put down just yet, but surely hot and cold will walk to that wall, put a black mirror on it, and succeed on the extension. Or not. Wait, he's going for it now. Wait, go back. Go back. There it is. Thank you, Matthew Stevens. That is hot and cold, and now we got a successful roam extension.
Oh, it's an AVG defense, so you want to go over onto the trophy statuary side. A lot of teams will clear from bedroom over. If they go to do that, they'll run into that mirror window that we saw head first. That means that if you want to confront it, unless you take a direct gunfighter pinch through Astro, and that's if somebody from Space Station isn't playing on Astro stairs, then you need to go down below and try to take the mirror out from inside of Kitchen. Now, it's not uncommon for somebody to enter through Laundry and go to Kitchen when there's that extension on a trophy statuary, as we're seeing from Space Station, but you don't necessarily need to do that. And some teams can just go for a 90 execute, take that wall into Vault, and then push through Study. It's really just a stylistic choice, and MIBR have options at their disposal.
Good critical there from Philippox. Also what happened off screen is that Redog tried to use his Twitch drone to destroy the mirror on that triple wall. He was not successful because Hot and Cold found the drone, and of course, he shot it before it could open up the mirror window. That means MIBR's main focus is on Study's side, with a bit of verticality down below, but Hot and Cold gets the opening kill to Raps with the finger off the board, and now we're gonna be seeing a madness in the main stairs.
80 bullets used there by the Zofia of Philippox, and didn't find a single kill. It's Lukin to the rescue. He tags both Rampy and Bosco, gets both of those picks. That's the Jaeger and Melusi down. Not particularly crucial operators in a post plant. The 3 best ops for that still available. Yeah. 2 nitro cells in the hands of both Hot and Cold and Fultz, as well as the toxic canisters and Skies on smoke. So you lose your Zofia and your Finka. That's no adrenal surges. That means that if you start getting chip damage done to you, there's no way for you to come back from that. Additionally, there's no adrenal surge to help you with that aim to be able to burst into the bomb site, as we see those Finka boosts work so well to basically be the starting sound of an execute. Fultz off site, takes down Rayduct. No more Twitch either. Nades from Luca down below. Luca, the one responsible on MIBR for both kills so far this round. Another nade gets tossed out. Fultz knows that at least one of them is down below. MIBR like to engage on the stairs against NIP in their matchup earlier today. They're in that same spot, even if it is a bit of a precarious position. Luca can make it work. Up the stairs, Fultz might actually lose this battle, but there we go. Down goes Luke, it falls again, the last one standing. A nice pick through that marigold-colored smoke. He will look, tosses out the flashbangs, breathes in some of it, keeps going forward into the middle of the bomb site, but Skies outduels him through the wall, and that's SSG up 2-0.
SSG showing the fundamentals this round. They're putting the Jaeger and Melusi in the most likely to die position of the main stairs, able to trade off each other. And it's really great value because you spoke about it, Parker. If you lose this operator, they've already put down their gadgets. They've already done the most damage that they can do in that sense. And the 3 operators that survive, they have a C4 for pump deny or plant deny. And of course, you have the toxic babes on the smoke. So basically, let's say that you had reversed the roles. It was one C4 operator and the smoke playing on that top main stairs area. Well, if the attackers successfully get through that area and they get those 2 kills, you lose a ton of value. So really good decision making from SSG to put the arguably weaker operators or less required operator, if you will, on those dangerous positions so that if they fall, not much is lost. And we'll be seeing the 3rd bomb site here being that library living situation from SSG. With the mirror being open, I think this speaks even more so to this bomb site. It allows you to set up above, of course set up down below as well, and those black mirror windows, they'll give you a ton of information. The castle from Skies also speaks really well to the bomb site. You can deny certain lines of sight, certain entry points for the attackers, and really start boxing in certain areas of the map, saying we care about this area, we care about this area, and we don't care about that area at all. So now we'll have to see how SSG exactly set up. You see it here, certain walls are reinforced, certain walls are soft, extension up above. Kind of like if we're watching a AVG defense here. I expect the mirror window to go into that study wall in just a moment from hot and cold. Yeah, there it is. So now office is being held, that's vertically being done. The only thing that you can do if you're MIBR is push from the master side of things and push all the way over as if you're attacking AVG, right? Then you clear out the vault area, the bar, etc., top red, and you always see here there's castle barricades towards master bedroom, and SSG is spread extremely thin throughout the map. Of course, if you are MIBR, you can just go first floor, you can go study balcony, you have so many different ways to go about it, but folks will find the opening kill once again. It's Felipox, one of the star players, if not the star player from MIBR, now down on the ground once again.
But once you get to this point, there is depth in the roster. Falls had some incredible rounds in the matchup earlier today. Ditto with Rayduct, ditto with Raps. Luke was really the only player that didn't have a great match against Ninjas in Pajamas. Down goes Raps, by the way, so there's another one of those Hall of Fame players from MIBR who's no longer available. Fultz having an absolute ball on the stairs. In 1 minute, he's managed to secure 2 very big kills. Now, it looks like the fall off from SSG. They don't want to actively hold this. They're past the minute mark into the round. You've got 2 kills. Go back. You concede a little bit of map control because there's fewer drones to work with and less gadgets to clear.
And you got the vertical. I mean, you can take the side here if you look it, but honestly, SSG, they have information, they have the guns up above. Good entry though. Rambi taken off the board. Second one almost follows up. There's diffuser now on the bomb side from Falls, but what are you gonna do? Toxic Bay comes out, you get injured, Falls finds the kill. Now Falls all alone, but also he falls to hot and cold. But with all that vertical destruction that SSG had, you need to clear it or have some sort of way into sight. Let it be a crazy amount of smoke grenades, a Yin Candle to blind the people up above or something. You can't just walk into lobby and think you can walk up the main stairs and walk into sight. That's obviously what SSG wants you to do. It's what they've set you up to do. And if I can be honest, it looked like MIBR didn't know how to respond.
You said, can I be honest? You didn't let me answer.
Can I be honest?
You may.
Okay, thank you. I will be honest then, how about that? I'll take that into my own hands. I will be honest now. I don't think MIBR had any idea how to respond to the setup, so they went for the easy decision. Let's just attack it head on in lobby, which is like the worst possible thing to do, and just pray that it works. And that's not gonna fly against SSG. They have one of the best fundamentals, they have incredible discipline, and they understand how to strategically set up a bomb site on defense at a very high level.
Well, it's been the Fultz show for Spacestation. 7 kills through these 3 rounds. I don't think we're going to see anybody come even close to challenging what Onigiri just did in the previous matchup. By the way, if you did not watch that Elevate versus Rogue matchup, you need to go back and treat yourself to one of the most spectacular single-player performances that we have ever seen at an S-tier event.
It's good.
For those of you that want a distinction, an S-tier event is reserved exclusively for gigantic, prestigious international events with teams from all over the world competing. That usually in Rainbow Six is reserved for the Six Invitational and for the majors. Pro League Finals, Regional League Finals, the minors that we saw, OGA Pit, DreamHack, etc., those are not S-tier events. They are A-tier events. Some of the smaller minors might even be B-tier events. Let's get back to this in 1 second because there's a Nitro cell that goes out. Sky's picking up the first kill, still fighting back as Fultz picks up kill number 8. Rayduct and Lukid gone from action. No Sledge, no Twitch available. That is a lot of gadget destruction and soft destruction gone. Bosco the first one to go from SSG. Fellow Pox picks up kill number 2, but not before trading out most of his HP.
You didn't just lose the Sledge, by the way. Lukid jumped into a Frost Trap on that closet window. That's a big blunder, honestly. Clearly wasn't zoned, didn't check when you vaulted in. It's just like one of those, well, you're under pressure, you're under stress, and now you're starting to show some silly mistakes. We see Falls inside a closet, Raps in bathroom, what we're seeing Fellow all the way down below in basement, so far away from his team, and well, Skies is sort of nearby, but he looks to now also walk away.
Oh, getting back to Onigiri for just 1 second, he dropped 27 kills to set a new record for an S-tier. Okay, I'm not allowed to talk about this anymore. SSG just seems quite intent on breaking my train of thought. We still have over a minute to go, but they are killing the players from MIBR. Nice shot from Falls. He's made a couple beautiful ones so far today.
Nice shot.
And he's drawn it much closer together. That's Fultz sat down. Fultz was getting a little bit aggressive. This is a trophy statuary bomb site for SSG. Adrenal Surge goes in, still one remaining for MIBR. It's been used to get Falls back up to almost full HP. He has access to that diffuser and still quite a lot of hard destruction. 10x Kairos, that's good enough for a full set and then some. Down goes Raps though, and it's Falls again in a clutch or kick scenario. So many times we've seen Falls put in this spot, and that just really goes to show you that MIBR are pushing in, they're losing their footing fast. They've surrendered every single opening death, yet to get an opening kill, and now they trade, but the round still goes to Space Station. It's 4-0 for the North American team.
Yeah, I'll let you have your train of thought in just a moment, Parker, but you spoke about opening kills and whatnot. I have a conversion statistic here. So, SSG on defense, they only get the opening kill 35% of the time, which is terrible. But they have the highest defensive conversion rate of 84%. What that means is when they get the opening kill, they have an 84% chance so far to also win the round. That's 4 opening kills, it's 4 rounds, the stats do not lie. And now, I will let you have your train of thought regarding Onigiri in that Elevate Rogue game before SSG will stop you from talking again.
What I was going to say is, for those of you that are wondering, the single kill record for a Tier 1 map is 27 kills set by Palu back at the Croatian OGA Pit Minor, where Palu in one map dropped 27 kills against Team BDS. That is quite an impressive feat, by the way. Yes, that is correct. And that's not the same BDS. They were, I would argue, a weaker team back then. They had not ascended to the level that they are at right now, but still,
rising.
They were on the rise. And a very, honestly, a very impressive performance. Today, Onigiri just did the same thing. 27 kills against Rogue, so it happened against another European team.
Oh boy.
Onigiri did not break the record. One more kill and that would have been enough. Elevate might have won the match. Onigiri might have tied the record, but for an S-tier event, this is the new record. So congratulations to Onigiri, making a lot of fans in the process. Congratulations to Elevate as well for their victory in that matchup.
Onigiri has also been extremely nice in interviews. Just want to put that out there. Really been enjoying the content he's been providing, the insight he's been given, and how humble and kind he's been, both on screen, obviously, when he's playing. A lot of big smiles from their faces. It looks like they're just happy to be here, but they're not playing like that. They're playing like they deserve to be here and showing what they can do. Back to the game. 2 minutes 30 seconds. It's a kitchen bomb set defense from the side of SSG, and we keep seeing these extensions with the mirror windows. SSG once again reading the map well, but Philibox reads the situation better, gets a kill onto Rampy. It's the first opening kill for MIBR this entire map so far.
And there we go. MIBR had some troubles, if you recall, in that last map of Coastline up against Ninjas in Pajamas, with Nip getting most of those opening picks, especially when they were on attack. MIBR were not the most proficient team on their attacks. All throughout this tournament, we have seen seen this MIBR team struggle on attack. They are way more comfortable and way more confident on their defense, but Nip exploited that on Coastline. On a map like Villa, it plays so differently than both Cafe and Coastline, which are the two maps that we saw MIBR in action with earlier today. We'll see what more is to come. Drone goes out on this kitchen defense. SSG have now played all 4 bomb sites in the process. Halfway mark of round number 5. SSG up 4-0. This is where they want to be, but because they lost Rampy, Legion being one of the strongest operators down the stretch, they're going to be missing those goo mines that regenerate or generate over time.
Yeah, and this is a classical MIBR situation here. This is what happened against NIP. They get the opening pick, then they slow down so much. Like, they haven't moved a muscle, they haven't moved an inch. They're not really doing anything actively on the map. They're droning, they're in this stage 2 of the attack, which is like, let's figure out what is going on, right? It's the setup. And once they set up, then execute follows. But before we can get there, Felipox will get another kill now, 5 versus 3, really growing their lead. And once they're gonna push through, well, they have more guns. Full swings through, 2 in.
Oh my goodness, there's 2 of them, Nick!
Shotgun in hand, gets almost a 30, does not find it, and that is MIBR that gets the round out of nowhere.
A desperate attempt for him as he walks in, and the team flash from Falls almost throws them the round, but when you've got Felipox with 150 bullets, sometimes that boy is able to level up to a certain skill that you just cannot defeat. And look at this from Fultz, almost rhythmic. SSG in the final dying seconds of that round. We're going for broke. Finally, MIBR gets on the board. It comes on a bomb site that was only played that single time for Spacestation. So with the site rotation being what it is, SSG will go back to a more familiar bomb site, picking Aviator and Games for their very final defense.
Yep, they are indeed. And Kite not being brought out again. SSG flexing around the operators here. It was Bosco in the very first round playing the Kaid, now it's Fultz. Fultz played the muted prior, so he was playing that wall deny operator, and you always want to bring wall deny if you bring the mirror, because when Hibane or Ace are open, which one of them will always be pretty much, well, if you don't have anything to deny the walls with, bandit charges, mute jammers, kite calls, etc., it's just so much easier to breach them as an attacker, and we see Bosco now with the same exact bulletproof as the first time around, clearly showing that these strats are hard-coded on the paper, they've been studied to the T, and that's exactly what you do when you're a personal player. You sit down, typically with PowerPoint or some sort of 3D presentation, we can like move stuff around, or 2D, sorry, presentation, and you say, okay, well, this setup, what do we need? Well, the Astro Stairs, we need like something to stop people. That can be barbed wire or a Banshee, and you know, on the side, when I get bulletproofs, and then we see the Banshee and Astro Stairs, we want the mirror window to extend, but this time it's a little bit different, right? Because you've seen the mirror windows inside of Trophy leading to Astro, with the triple wall being reinforced, and that's where the Kite Claw is going. So, it's going to be more passive approach, if you will. We're not going to be consisting into Master Bedroom. We'll be holding Astro. And with that Kite Claw, we'll be forcing out grenades utility. It might be either answering with a what seems to be a direct attack on Study Balcony instead, reading out the setup, knowing it happened the last time around. They couldn't break it. They didn't even want to try. In similar fashion now here. Redot bringing out the Osa. We're seeing more and more play of this operator, and MIBR been using it themselves also earlier on today against NIP. Played it for 2 rounds. One was successful and one was a little bit more successful, but they weren't hugely successful.
Absolutely. Osa obviously getting a spotlight in those interviews that have been playing between the matches as to how you can play the operator best. Felipox, you gotta...
Oh, he's got it.
No! He does not like this particular angle. I don't know if he'll go for it again. Smoke gets tossed out down below by Skies. Calm before the storm. There's a nice nade on the Skies. The smoke, whose position had been given away, that is likely from below. And there goes the mirror window as well, Nick. So everything working out in favor of MIBR to start with. But the start comes a little bit late because it is half of the round burned off the clock.
Yeah, but it's a huge kill. It's the smoke off the board. You got the mirror window opened up. And, I mean, the value here, it really is good for MIBR. But the hardest part is yet to come, because that's going to be taking that main stairs from Bosco and Rambi playing there together. If they can find 2 kills and trade evenly, the bomb side is still extremely strong from the side of SSG, and Rambi looking to get active, walking down the staircase. There's no one there to challenge just yet, but Nate will be coming out. Does it go for Rambi? Does it go up above? We'll find out in just a second.
Raduk puts that shield away, and that sound call to the Malusia Bosco will be known. I'm sorry, Raps is in the middle of the bomb site, but Bosco's got good patience, and that's Raduk gunned down. Raps still with control, but they don't know he's in there. Did they know he's in there? The Rat-a-tat-tab, the LMG, was going off. There goes one of the Goyo shields. Felipox swings in. MIBR have one player in the middle of the bomb site. They don't have the diffuser nearby. I think the diffuser might actually be stranded outside on the balcony with Falls on Repel. Down goes Raps. Another player dropped. MIBR need to be quick to the punch. They got Skies off the board. You've only got 30 seconds to work with, and that diffuser has to be escorted in. The Finka of Raps only has one kill to his name. She got gunned down middle of the bomb site. The remaining players from MIBR, not particularly close. They will claw their way towards the doorways, but SSG are so patient, waiting for it. Felipox getting stared down by the bulletproof camera. In he goes. They must know this. Lucan with one traded back. Now it's Felipox in the middle of the bomb site. The players from SSG waiting. They're both in there together. Nice kill from Bosco, but Falls will have a desperation plan on the clock, and Fultz reads into it. He's the superstar for Spacestation on this map. They're up 5-1.
A nice injury for MIBR, but it was the wrong person who got the side control. The diffuser was on Falls outside on study balcony for that entire round, basically. And once Falls found the bomb site itself, it was a bit odd because him and his teammate, they ran past each other. One person was leaving billiards to go back to the other room to plane, and, well, Falls, he ran from plane into billiards, and they really crossed paths. One person fell, that meant Falls was left now 1v2, and with 2 seconds left, he started planting, but it's just too late. Takes 7 seconds to plant, and Fultz, well, that is basically 7 more seconds than he needed because he was on that flank. 12 kills to his name on Fultz, by the way, going absolutely huge for the side of SSG. Fultz is also the best entry for his team. Before this match started, he was +10 on the entry, with Skies having the most plants in the entire tournament so far, sitting on 24 plants. And that's not SSG's plants, that is just Skies from SSG's plants. So SSG are more than likely the team with the most plants at this entire event so far, and they're tied most in clutches with Damonkia as well. So SSG, while being in lower bracket, there are a lot of stats to really back up their name. The clutch factor, we all know it. The plant factor, well, we've all seen it. They play the objective on defense, they play the objective on their attacks. And when you got that combined with good entry and good gunplay like we've seen from them, well, you got the whole trifecta. MIBR now on the defensive side. It's a defender favorite Villa, but it's not by that much. So they really have to go big, get the same similar swap as SSG did with that 5-1 rotation. Otherwise, you'll lose in regulation. So MIBR, you want to go OT, or you can just take all 6 rounds in a row.
It's a tough spot to be in for MIBR, but again, if we go back to the old conventional wisdom of a Villa map, you want to be on defense. The problem is that this 5-1 scoreline is tough to come back from, but there's a team that came back from it earlier today. NIP did it against MIBR already. This was the scoreline after the first half of that coastline map. And guess what? NIP still managed to do it and make it work.
The Retero drone, well, it's not just Super on the Smoke who falls for it. Sometimes Fall does as well. It can be tricky. They can be hard to hear. They move fast, and sure, they have those, red and yellow lights, but come on, it's not easy to see. Not in the proud of all your talking, communication. 4 guys in teams screaming in your ear. It gets missed.
Especially when you're as vocal a team as MIBR are. So, hoo boy. Retero drone doing its work. That's MIBR losing some piece of their defensive setup.
Huge piece.
Huge piece of their defensive setup. I was trying to be nice. Some.
I'm trying to be honest here. It is huge.
Our integrity matters. Trying to open up the panel underneath for the mirror window. There's Rampy to do that, and successful. These mirror windows are getting picked apart, and there's a big part of why we don't see a ton of mirror all the time on this map, and that's because that soft destruction can very easily eject the black mirror.
Yeah, I think the mirror window works really well when you're extending across the map. I don't think it works that well.
I'm sorry. He's planking. Felipox is planking on top of the bar. Look at that core strength right now, holding himself up, doing the worm, elbows in. That defies physics right there. That might be one of the strongest men I have ever laid my eyes upon. All the while, the grenade goes off underneath him and obviously doesn't do any damage. Felipox drops on down. That's it. He got his TikTok video, and that's all he wanted. Off he goes.
The content matters. It's a 5v5 as MIBR has run off that top main area. They have surrendered it, if you will, to the likes of SSG, and they've also opened up those mirror windows, which means the damage has really been done. They got the ground they wanted. They got the hardest step done, I would say, but now the execute has to come through with 5 against 5. That's not easy.
Yeah, that's going to be the toughest part, and especially with this bomb site having so many hard walls, so many reinforcements up, it'll be a brawl for Space Station. Hot and Cold greets the first player, a nice shot on the Luke Kid Philippox, can easily secure 2, and he'll do just that. Only 16 bullets in the Roni, but he makes every single one of them count. Now with his attention turned elsewhere, Hot and Cold walks on in. It's Raps over by 90 to drop Bosco. The advantage in MIBR's favor, Hot and Cold out-dueled by Falls. It's a desperate attempt to get into the bomb site, met with the aggression from MIBR. Skies is the only one there to do it. Beautiful flick onto Falls, but a lot of bodies for him to find. 2 more, not a ton of time. Has to go for kills, clutch potential,
nice.
And at the last second, he almost gets them all. Good sweet lord, a second more. SSG would have won that round, but MIBR, they're counting their lucky stars on that one. They take their very first defense.
That is way too close. I was thinking, no way, Skies. 14 seconds, bottom right stairs, goes through a barbed wire. The first flake really set the tone for that possibility of a clutch. A great flake with great accuracy, really struck. Oh, I can't even. It was amazing. I'll just leave it at that. Philippox, great double kill as well. Here we see it, Skies. Found the bar kill, flicked 180 degrees, saw the player inside a vault, couldn't get it. There was no time. Arguably, with just half a second, the 1 more second, he might have had that. Now we're gonna see the second bomb site from MIBR. The kitchen dining. And the crazy thing about this is they're not bringing a pulse. That is extremely rare. I didn't actually see if SSG did it earlier because I wasn't paying attention to it, but I know for a fact, right now on my screen, that MIBR didn't do it. And that is like unheard of, I would say. They bring the Vigil instead. So obviously speaking to a roam game, getting active on the map, the reinforcements in that living room kind of speak to that as well. They want to extend over, play on that first floor, try and create chaos for SSG, contesting their entry points. SSG's lineup, well, it's quite flexible. They can go vertical, they can also go on the horizontal take. They got the Sledge, got Sophia, they got Soft Breach, they got Lion to help keep MIBR standing still. The only operator that can freely move around is Vigil. Once Vigil activates his gadget, he is immune to the Lion scanner. That is something to note. Of course, if you're standing inside of a mute jammer, you're also immune, but that's a very limited range. You can't really do a whole lot of moving. But if you see Vigil running around, don't worry, he's not crazy, but the gadget makes him immune.
All right, well, MIBR, that was a thriller of a last round, Nick. And
yeah.
my heart rate is slowly starting to come back down after that one.
Honestly,
it looked like Skies was going to be able to pull it off, and MIBR a bit too passive. There goes Philippox, by the way. That's Fultz continuing on, lucky number 13. Obviously not close to matching that tally that we'd seen from Onigiri earlier on, but still a pretty impressive performance. All the kills quite evenly dispersed on the side of SSG with the exception of Fultz. The only thing that really stands out in this lobby is Rayduct, unable to find the score sheet just yet.
That's true. That was a Gemini clone, by the way. Not real Iana. That would have been absolutely wild if you just middle of the library room, or living room rather, out of nowhere. That means that, well, Raps, he lives on. He gets to roam a little bit longer. SSG are closing in slowly, making sure that this man advantage, it stays intact. They do not want to lose it. Raps has almost no support, by the way, inside of living itself. He does have a player on the red stairs, Melusi upstairs, and Falls playing inside of China area. That's
the thing, and it looked like both Hot and Cold as well as Fultz were going to join together to pinch effectively. That's where their focus is going to be. This is a big win for Raps. If he can tie up 2 of those players from Space Station, then the rest of SSG are going to be in trouble to deal with the bomb site. But there you go. Rayduck taken down by Rampy. An off-site player still known, Lukid there as well, and now he'll scoot away, heading over towards 90. Oh boy.
SSG attacking on multiple fronts here, right? You thought it was a living attack. Clearing out Raps the roamer. That wasn't the case. It was Rampy up above, finding a kill for himself and reduct. And now, well, Rampy wants more, but half health. This doesn't bode well for you. Lionscan comes out. That's going to assist you. Luki can't move, but he strikes through. Beautiful shot onto Bosco.
Absolutely fantastic thing. Lion gets the EE1D off before they're able to get back to the bomb site on behalf of that Melusi. Luki scooting away now. Raps is next one up, and that's a bit of a mischaracteristic misplay, or an uncharacteristic misplay from SSG. Again, Raps killing a ton of time, and then also getting the pick onto Fultz. Spacestation got the lead-off pick. They were in good position to then snowball to the rest of the bomb site, but these two unanswered picks that we see from MIBR have suddenly swung the game back into very even contention. This is a good and very strong performance from MIBR, and what I would consider to be a highly crucial round. Timeout already taken from MIBR. If you win here, you prevent SSG from going on to match point, and you get more of that wind at your back. You're going to have to hunt them down, but SSG's guns, so strong. Luca peeks on in. Rap's now taken out as well. It's Falls in the smoke to contest against the three players. Nice shot on the skies. Falls absolutely punishing, but the diffuser is surrendered. They'll swing forward. That's it down with the shotgun out. All you need to do is get the very final kill, and it's all hot and cold to do it. It was a confusing situation, but it's Matthew Stevens on SSG to give that team match point.
I mean, I guess they saw Kids guys in the previous round of AVG saying, you know what, that was really close, but you know, this time we finish it. We get the round as well. Look at this here as we see the replay. Raps got taken down, Luca taken down as well. Falls left alone with 17 bullets left. That's that SMG effect again where, well, if he had an LMG, he could keep shooting on forever. It wouldn't matter, or any other gun for that matter. Having 17 bullets, it really limits and restricts you how you can play those 1 versus 3 situations. Falls, he got the first kill, got the injured to follow it up, swapped to his shotgun, then played a little bit too passive, one can argue. Not exactly sure on where that third player was. I assume there was no intel from the side of MIBR to share it with him, being like, yo, last guy's in kitchen, pushing up, he's closing the table, you can swing. It seemed like they just didn't know. He was crouching, trying to listen to his ears, seeing, okay, where's the last player, and then make a move. And it didn't pay off for him. Also, at the same time, you have this very difficult situation in front of you, right? When the time is ticking down 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, there's always going to be the option to just hide and play for time. And it can be very difficult in a split second to make up your mind whether you're going to be peeking, taking the gunfight, or hiding and playing for time. Very difficult to calculate. It's always, to say, it's a 50-50 decision, 50-50 situation. And unfortunately, Falls, he did not live up to the clutch potential, but he was extremely close. He's been so good at it earlier today against an IP, and he was so good at trying with it here against SSG.
Well, 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 what a thrill ride some of these rounds have been. An absolutely astonishing conclusion to that previous one, and SSG made it needlessly close, really. They stalled in the mid-round and didn't know what to do with the Vigil roaming, especially without the Lion on the board to isolate the other players, because obviously Vigil's cloak is immune to Lion's gadgets. So EE1D goes off, Raps gets to rotate. The thing is that at this moment, Raps at 3 and 7 on a roaming operator is really only good for stalling out time. In terms of kills, Raps and Rayduct are about as deadly as stuffed animals at the moment. So you don't need to be too worried. All you have to do is ensure that you're not getting bogged down with Vigil managing the clock. You have to manage the clock. That's partially why you bring a Lion.
I will say, though, kudos to Raps in that previous round. He knew he didn't have to take any gunfights inside of that living library area. He watched us burning down the clock. That was his only job, and did a really good job at that. And that's all you need to do. Kills is not the only factor. Raps now, same story, roaming around trying to find a kill, but can't find it. The cover is there. And then again, Bosco, he finds Raps instead. It's a trade-off back and forth in a 4 versus 3, as we're closing in on site here, second time for Kitchen.
Falls is down as well. He's a very clutch player for this team and has been the top performer. Nobody is positive on this MIBR squad, and when you look at the score line, that should really tell you quite the story. Nitro Cell's ripped, Sky's getting the diffuser down, he falls off, no damage done to him, but very apprehensive about where these defenders are going to come from. There's nobody seemingly watching Kitchen. There goes another EE1D. He could have very easily stuck this plan. There's Luca to throw out a nade. I don't know what that was for. Still waiting as Hot and Cold guards the re-entry to the bomb site. Diffuser down. Spacestation in such good control of this map. There's a reason why they picked it, despite not having the best results here at this event. Fellapox from above has given his position away. His return to the bomb site heralded by those shotgun blasts. And Lucan as well spotted inside a pantry, but he's as good as canned meat. A drop from Fellapox, and that'll be map number 1. It's a swift one. Spacestation putting a clinic onto this map, taking it with a decisive 7-2.
That's that Villa defensive side that we love to see. It's defender-sided. But not just that, but SSG played it phenomenally. On their attacks, of course, it's not as easy as defense, but they found their ground.